Hi at welcome sa channel. So today I am finally going to address Abid Neo 5's question if MAXSUN RX 550 can be used for streaming. So this video has two parts. First is yung RX 550 and then I'm also going to tackle yung GT 1030. So to answer his question, the short answer is yes, pwede mong gamitin yung RX 550 for streaming. However, Radeon cards are not the best GPU for streaming. It is still best to get an NVIDIA GTX or RTX for streaming. Pero again, pwede, no? It's just not the best. To stream with RX 550, you just have to open the Radeon software Adrenaline or press Alt-R if it is already installed. While you can use OBS, it is a bit janky if you will use hardware encoding for Radeon cards. So, ang best tool for streaming for AMD Radeon, in my opinion, is the Radeon software itself. Going back sa Radeon software, punta ka lang sa Record and Stream tab, which you might have to initialize if you haven't done so. So pati setup ng accounts mo sa Twitch, dito mo na rin gagawin. As for my settings, I have set it to Ultra for 1080p streaming. Once you're ready, just press go live and you'll be streaming to Twitch or your favorite streaming website. So things to note, for the quality of the stream, you will notice that the stream is not perfectly clear, no? If you will check other streamers, their stream is pretty clear. So possible solution dito is to increase the bitrate even further. However, you have to check two things, no? One is yung internet nyo kung kaya yun. Plus, si Twitch, dapat partner ka na para hindi rin niya i-throttle down back to 6,500. There's also an FPS loss. If I'm not streaming, the FPS was around 190, but now the average FPS is 174. So that's around 10% FPS loss. Okay, for GT 1030, you have no choice but to use OBS. OBS is the usual streaming software used by the streamers. Once you have that installed, make sure that you've added game capture if you want to stream Valorant. For CSGO naman, you have no choice but to use display capture. For OBS settings, you may want to check this website. I will put it in the description box below. Explain niya lahat from how to connect your account, pati yung output. Okay, for output, sabi dito sa site, ang nire-recommend niyang encoder NVENC. Kaso, GT 1030 lang kasi ito. In case you don't know, maraming missing features ang GT cards kumpara sa GTX at RTX. Kasama na dito yung NVENC. So ano ba yung NVENC? Sabi ng NVIDIA, NVENC is an independent section of your GeForce GPU used to encode video, lifting the strain from your CPU. This frees up the system to run your games and tackle other resource-intensive tasks so you can focus on what's truly important, delivering a show-stopping broadcast. So sa case ng GT 1030, since hindi available ang NVENC, you have to choose Software X264 encoder. Ibig sabihin nito, gamit ito ng powers ng CPU mo. This is actually fine kung ang CPU mo at the minimum Ryzen 3600 or Intel i5-10400. Pero sa test bench ko, Ryzen 3100 lang. So you would see some performance impact din sa games. As for the bitrate, pinili ko lang 4000 kbps. Pero feel free to select 6000 kbps kung kaya ng internet mo. Okay, so yung footage niya, ganito. The quality is a given since mas mababa yung bitrate. Pero ang mas kapansin-pansin dito yung FPS. Dati 150 FPS to. Ngayon, 112 FPS na lang on average. That's around 25% FPS loss. Although for me, 100 FPS pa rin naman. So, okay pa rin naman sa smoothness. Just take note that there is a price to pay for streaming software X264. Okay, so that's it. I think na-cover ko na yung streaming for entry-level GPUs. For RX 550, just use the Radeon software, and for GT 1030, palakasan na ng CPU ang labanan for streaming. I hope this video is useful kahit papaano. Hindi ko na tinakel talaga yung lahat ng settings ko. But I'll leave my settings in the descriptions below for your reference. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like or dislike, comment if trip nyo. Bye!